Russia has issued one of its starkest warnings of the war. In a direct call with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov informed Washington that Moscow is launching systematic strikes on military-linked targets in Kyiv. Lavrov also warned the U.S. to evacuate diplomatic personnel from the Ukrainian capital ahead of the planned escalation. The Kremlin says the strikes are retaliation for Ukrainian attacks inside Russian territory and occupied regions. Moscow claims Kyiv crossed a red line after the alleged strike on Starobilsk in Luhansk. Ukraine rejects the accusation, saying it targeted a Russian drone command facility. But Russia is now threatening strikes on Kyiv's decision-making centers, language seen as a warning to Ukraine's leadership. The warning came just after one of Russia's largest missile and drone attacks on Kyiv since the war began. Now, Moscow is not only escalating militarily, it is publicly warning foreign embassies beforehand. That has transformed the crisis from another battlefield exchange into a major geopolitical flashpoint. Marco Rubio later confirmed the call, saying Lavrov personally relayed Russia's warning after notices were sent to diplomatic missions. Rubio warned that prolonged wars always risk spiraling into something much bigger. He also said Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted the message delivered directly to U.S. President Donald Trump.
Well, they sent a notice to all the embassies, and I think he was just calling personally to tell me. They told all the embassies to Kyiv's going to be a very dangerous place. But Kyiv's been a very dangerous place now for a number of years. But the danger in all of these wars as they continue and they go on is that they always have the threat of escalation, of spreading into something new. So I spoke to him yesterday about that and a couple other topics, and obviously Putin had asked him to call me to relay the message directly to the president, which I did, but obviously we had already seen the notice sent out to all the diplomatic facilities. And I said, right now there's no active, scheduled negotiations ongoing with Ukraine, but the U.S. is always prepared to play a constructive and helpful role if that opportunity presents itself.
European officials have rejected Russia's warning and vowed to remain in Kyiv despite the threats. But the combination of planned strikes, evacuation advisories, and warnings about decision-making centers has already sent shockwaves across global capitals. With Washington now directly briefed by Moscow, fears are growing that the war may be entering a far more dangerous phase.